Good for you. Was there a tipping point for you? Because I imagine for you and for me and many other younger individuals out there, when they're seeking to embark on a career or a life path of at least something that they want to drive to for the next short while, be it long term, short term, there's often a tipping point, be it a conversation, an experience, or an influence that happens that leads us into that direction. What was that for you, barring your environment and seeing people's lives change?
That really was the big one. Just seeing how drugs were impacting peers, people, you know, when I was in middle school, high school, younger age. And um, that certainly played into it. I remember a story. I had a coworker whose husband worked at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. And at the time they weren't doing public tours, but he had worked there for a number of years and he knew I had an interest in federal law enforcement. So he invited me to the academy and it was a nice tour. It was just a one-on-one tour with a FBI special agent. And
Nice.
we were in the FBI building, and at that time, the FBI building was shared. Uh, their facilities were shared with the DEA, and now the DEA has their own facilities also on Quantico. Their own dorms, their own classrooms.
I
But
see.
at the time, everything was co-housed at the FBI building, and we were in the building, and I didn't know that, by the way. I didn't know that DEA was actually in that building, but we were in there, and it's a silly story, but it definitely something I remember. He took his wallet out of his back pocket and put it down and said, "We're going to go on our tour. When I come back, that wallet's still going to be there because integrity means something. The
Oh,
honesty, trust. All the pillars of the FBI and of law enforcement." And I thought, all right, cool. And then right as he put his wallet down, there was a bunch of guys and women walking down the hall, and they were actually DEA folks, and they were kind of marching almost down the hall, and everyone kind of
right.
stopped and turned and looked at them. And even though the wallet story was interesting, my focus now is on DEA, and I was like, "Who's
Yeah.
that?" He's like, "That's the
Mm.
DEA guys. That's just the DEA guys."
Wow.
And and I know it's a silly story, but I looked at them and I thought, wow, that's what I want to
Yeah.
do. And I had knew what DEA was and the mission, but just physically seeing them there and I don't know, that's when it all came together. Is I got to figure out how to get
Hmm.
from A to B.